So hello everyone, and I welcome you all to the today's session of customer communication management. So we'll be discussing today how you can accelerate the customer engagement for your business. So let me introduce the panelists. So alongside with me is Mr. Devendra Singh Nagpal, who is the head of global alliances and trainings. Next, we have Mr. Jigyasu, who is the account manager of the partner ecosystem handling APAC and South and West India region. And myself, Jatin Shekhar, the account manager for Africa and North and East India. Alongside with us would be the esteemed partners as well as customers from the various geographies, APAC, Middle East, Africa, and India. So today that you have joined in, we'll be discussing that what is the whole idea of coming up with this webinar. So the whole idea is to discuss about a flagship product of Newgen, that is customer communication management. So let me summarize the agenda for you today. That this would actually help you understand what exactly is happening in the CCM market. Alongside that, we'll be discussing what all are the challenges that the organizations are facing while they are working with their customer, while they're communicating with their customer. Then we would be discussing what we have to offer, what's the Newgen offering in the market, which is just to give you some information that we are Aspire certified, we are an Aspire recognized product of CCM. We'll be discussing the benefits of what Newgen's offering can give you or the organizations which takes in. Post that, we will be giving you some of the success stories. So to start with, let's start what let's understand first that what and how the CCM market is shaping up. So right now, if I talk about the CCM market from the Global Newswire or the PwC reports or the Forbes that we have got to know is that the CCM market is growing at a huge rate of 11.2%. Currently, the market size holds at $1.3 billion, but in around 7 years of time, it's expected to go double. If I talk about the report of PwC, that talks about that how the customers treat an organizations when the customer experience is not up to the mark. So talking about that every interaction matters. One mistake can cost you a customer. That's what it specifies, that every one of three customers leave you when they have just one bad experience. So it's very important while you are uh, talking to your customers on the various touch points, it's very important that their experience remains intact or is it always a delight. Next, we talk about the organizations that are dissatisfied with the communications that they are doing during their customer onboarding journeys or customer retention. So the companies actually require a tool wherein they want to engage the customers in a better way. And you would be shocked to understand or to listen that almost 9 out of 10 countries are facing issues while they are talking to their customers. Next, we talk about that the various touch points that our customers get reached through by the organizations or their service providers, be it BFSI, be it telecom, be it manufacturing. So it's very important that you all in all from the various departments or from the various touch points, you just don't miss out any kind of customer communication, because as we have discussed earlier, if there is a bad experience, they will leave you. So the customers, the organizations are actually investing huge in the customer communication management, and that has grown by 300% in the last few years. Now moving on to what are the 5 key takeaways or the 5 key things that you need to consider while you are choosing a modern CCM platform. So let's start first with the instant on-demand communications. So as per our experience, these would be the 5 must-haves or the 5 parameters that needs to be considered. And first of them is the on-demand communication that needs to be done with the customers. So as we all know, there are multiple communications that happens between the banks or the insurance companies or the telecom companies with their customers, be it the monthly statements, be it the bills or the notifications. So millions of communications happen regularly. So a customer communication management platform, a CCM platform, must automate and deliver those communications in a right way. What would be the call to action while they're talking to the customer? Is there a rule-based promotion that's put in? Or how do you track the email bounce rates, the open rates, the click-through rates? What is the engagement that the customer is having in that? So this is one of the parameters that gives you an overall understanding of that is this CCM platform right for me. Next, we talk about the one-on-one correspondence, one-on-one interactive correspondences. So here we talk about the collaborations across the various departments. So the integration with the CRMs, integration with the other systems to generate interactive communications. Because we all know that today the customer is looking for a customized communication or a personal touch while they are doing any kind of communication with their uh, organizations or the service providers. So personal touch on the letters, the contracts, the welcome letters, the loan offers. It's very important that these needs to be put in to increase the customer experience. Next, we come on to the orchestration of customer journeys. So how do you do that? So it's very important that we need to bridge those silos, facilitate a smooth inflow of the information while we are working with our customers, and there has to be complete transparency through the notifications, through the OTPs or the apps that are provided. Let's say we take an example of a bank, that what is the current balance that I am having, or a credit card information, that when is my billing cycle, when is my policy getting renewed. So these information actually help the customer need not go to and fro with the communications with your organization. So supporting on the various communication channels, be it email, WhatsApp, or other social media channels. Now here, a very big thing, just to give you some information on the social listening or the AI integration, that plays a vital role here. So social listening or the sentiment analysis, what are the people or what are the customers talking about your brand on the various social media platforms? Are they happy? Are they not happy? What is the thing that you can do to improve their experience? So we need to utilize all the rules engine, all the natural language processing, the AI tools to actually take a business decision to go way ahead with our competitors. Next, we talk about creating highly personalized communication. So we were discussing about one-to-one interactive correspondences where the communication included, let's say we take a monthly bill and we take an example of a person, Raj. So those bills would be specifying the name, hi Raj, your monthly statement is this. But this would be a more of a wider view of communication. But when we are talking about creating highly personalized communications, here there would be a lot of stakeholders that would be involved, because creating, previewing, and sending the customized reports is very important to take a business decision that what needs to be pitched to which customer. So targeting the right customer with the right kind of product, with the right kind of info is very important. So here we are discussing about uh, loans. Let's take an example. So which loan needs to be given to which customer? What is the demographics of that customer? What has been the previous history of that customer of using that bank? So that would create a lot of data, but how to manage those data and take the business decision out of it, that needs to be considered while we are discussing a modern CCM platform. Next, we are talking about the managing high volume batch communication. So as we were discussing, millions of communications are being done, be it a bank statement for a loan, or we talk about the policy renewal for the policy documents, or we take an OTP while you are just booking an Uber, right? Or we talk about, let's say my credit card is not working. So is there a 24/7 call assistance? So all these things need to be considered, what all we have discussed, these 5 parameters, while we are taking a CCM platform or a CCM tool into consideration for our company. Next, we talk about the success factors for the customers. What exactly the customers are looking for when they are talking about the CCM platform? What is their expectation, and what would be the result that we would be getting out of that? So first and foremost is the product or service reliability. Let me give you an example. So in the COVID times, people were working from home, and everybody was pretty reliable on their internet service providers. So if I talk about the reliability, then reliability skyrocketed in those times. That has been the top priority because everybody working from home required the best internet service provider. So let me just give you some information on that. If you're talking about telecom or the internet service provider, that was the third most priority thing for them when they are talking about the household things after electricity and water. So we know that customers are very much dependent on the product and the reliability of the product or the service that is being provided to them. So we need to understand that what gives customer a good experience. So this would specifically help in giving a good experience, an improved customer experience. Next, we talk about responsiveness. So in responsiveness, there has been a significant increase in the customer interest when we're talking about telecom or banking, that they require automated self-service options because they don't want to do the to and fro communication, increasing the whole turnaround time to solve their problem. Something that can be done in one day, why to take 5 days? Let's say we talk about the tablet banking or the mobile banking through pre-approved loans. You can just take that loan in 2 minutes. Why to visit the branch? Why to talk to 10 people? So this gives a specific help or a plus point to that consumer as well, with the experience, with the availability of various options, as well as the increase in the customer retention for the organization like a bank. Next, we talk about the hyper personalized communication. So during a research of McKinsey, we got to know that out of the total customers, 1/4 customers are specified on a personalized communication. They want the communication to be very personalized to them, while they are choosing their service providers, they are choosing their banks. They want that everything should be focused on them, and then this would solve a big problem of the churning of the customers. These customers would be actually talking about your brand on various social media channels or word of mouth. So now I would be giving the baton to Mr. Devender Singh Nagpal, who would be discussing from now on about the challenges, benefits, as well as the Newgen offering. Over to you, Mr. Devender.
Thank you, Jatin, for giving the insights that how the market is shaping it up and what exactly the customer is looking at when it comes to interacting with the customer, when it comes to communicating with the customer. So now let's also try to understand that what Newgen is offering out here, and what are those different kind of communications that normally an organization encounter, and how Newgen helps you to communicate with your customer in a better way. So to begin with, the slides talks about, you see, what are those different, you see, in normal course, the communications that have been done with, right? So as Jatin pointed out, there can be account statements that need to be delivered. There can be portfolio reports. There can be welcome letters. There can be renewals of certain entities, certain items. Reminder could be another thing. Invoice, of course, is one of the prominent area. Bills, of course, into utilities, and there can be certain promotional activities, maybe a campaign you see organizations are running, and hence there could be different kind of communications that every organization has to meet to make their customer, their vendors happy. Now let's also try to understand what are the basic problem areas, right? And you see, because of which the customers looks into such kind of an automated solution, right? So here are certain legacy communication system, right, which have certain inefficiencies. So to point out some of them, first of all, the high maintenance cost and costly upgrade paths, right? So when you have any such kind of products, right? So you have to go through these costly affairs, right? And that's again, you see, a main area of concern. Then integrating various systems, right? Because the data may be lying into different applications and we have to push and pull the data. And that's also a big challenge out there. Of course, the nowadays these people prefer to have multiple channels, right, to communicate, right? Everybody has got their own preference that what suits to them. They can be a mobile, or WhatsApp can be one of the area, and the emails could be another, or portal could be another one, right? So you have to offer multiple channels to your customer to communicate well, right? And then of course there are, when you design certain communications, you also need to have multiple versions of that communications, right? That's again because you see the communication keeps on changing, right? And you need to have multiple versions of the same communication, right? So that you may switch on to different uh, types of templates quickly with a click of a button. And then, of course, the security, of course, is very much important when you do such communications. There are, specialized resources that you need when you do such communications. The branding of the product is, of course, the utmost important, and there is inconsistency about there. The rigidity of the product, there is a generic layout, right? The high turnaround time, which makes a customer unhappy, difficult to track that what communications you have early made, right? And how the customer has responded back to that. And there's again, you see the personalization, which Jatin pointed out, there is restriction in that area also. And finally, all these products, people now wish to have a cloud ready, right? So these are the areas which are a concern. And and of course, people are looking a solution out there. Now this slide, if you look at, see, just give you a comparative analysis, right? What was happening traditionally when people are communicating, and how in this uh, in this 21st century the communication scenario has been changing, right? So earlier the contents need to be quite generic in nature, static in nature, right? And of course there is a few and limited channels to communicate, right? People preferably or most likely have to visit the branches to do such kind of communications, right? And of course the customer connects the call center for the service request, and also customer escalates over either through an email or an IVR, right? That these are certain limitations, right? Earlier in the conventional way the people have been doing the communication. Now, with the advent of this century, people need more of a personalized communication, right? As pointed out earlier also, you see, you need a straight answer to your questions, right? So that you see you get satisfied and you get the right information instantly, right? And of course, you need multiple channels, as I said earlier, different devices people now prefer. Which channel suits to you? I need the communications to be done on that, right? You should be able to connect to social medias and the apps. All nowadays are quite an in thing. Customer self-service through web should be there, and you should be able to escalate any of your issues over social sites. Now, let's try to understand how Newgen is providing a solution here. So I'll have a video with us. Let's try to look into it. Yes. Just a moment, guys. Maybe the voice.
welcome kits, promotions, account statements, renewal reminders, personalized experience that reinforces your brand. You need to tie these engagement opportunities often lost in siloed processes, applications, and systems across departments and geographies, and to modernize your legacy customer communication platform that is often expensive to maintain. You need Newgen's Omnichannel customer interface. With Newgen, you address multiple channels and communication lifecycle every step of your customer journey across channels and formats. You can hyper-personalize communication that goes out in bulk or on demand. With digitization of every communication, millions spent on printing and distribution. Trigger notifications based on speed and scale. With easy integration and cloud-ready APIs, you can centralize and control communication across your core applications, including ERP, HR, and CRM. You get 100% visibility while ensuring compliance, security, and privacy. With sentiment analysis, you can listen to your customers across channels, analyze their interactions, trigger the best action response, and close the loop. What's more, you can leverage ready-to-use communication templates, or even build personalized templates with super easy configurability powered by Enablement. With Newgen's Omnichannel customer engagement platform, you can delight your customers in every touchpoint with consistent and personalized communications. Newgen's industry recognizes that Omnichannel customer engagement platform is also available as part of NewgenONE, the comprehensive digital transformation platform. Unlock simple.
Fine, guys. So I hope there was some issues regarding the volume. But I hope you got a gist of it, that what this video was trying to convey. Right, so we will go into details of what has been summarized into this video, right? So the slide in front of you talks about what exactly Newgen is offering to you, right? When it comes to understanding the platform, right? So here, if you look at, there can be different kind of communications that have been required, right? As pointed out, there can be a batch communication, right? Where you see in a bulk, you have to, let's say, shoot out various statements of various customers, right? So that falls under the batch communication category. Then we have got an on-demand kind of a response. There could be a one-on-one correspondence, right? There can be a workflow driven communications where an approval is to be required. Branding and personalization, there can be different languages that you need to incorporate. White space marketing can be another area. And then we have got, you see, the industry compliance also that need to be taken care of. Now, in this, if you look at, if you go down under, right, so what the product is offering, that you'll be able to design such kind of communications, right? So when it comes to designing let's say a campaign, right, or let's say a statement, or maybe a proposal or an invoice, right? So you need to create a template, right, which are reusable, right? We can reuse it in some other, you see, format also. Or then we can we need not to design it from scratch. That means even existing PDF or MS can be used to take it as a sample, I mean, as an existing template, right? So we can change that quickly and hence can design a new template. The rules can be embedded, right? That which material, which item to be showcased to which customer, right? That also can be pointed out. There can be multiple versions of the same template that can be created. Then when it comes to generating these, you see, communications, you can schedule that when these communication will be created. Let's say there's a cycle that, I mean, in your regular practice, you get your account statement on a monthly basis. There can be certain other communications which you might get on a weekly basis or daily basis. You can define the scheduler, right? You have the workflow approval mechanism also, right? If let's say a request has come up, so you have to go through the approval mechanism also, or maybe you're drafting some letter, right, for mass communication, and that need to be approved by different departments or different users. That can be done with. Then we have got a multiple format outputs, how the output need to be given, right? And finally, it can also be, you can also activate the XML, so to consume the data from an XML format also. Then when it comes to tracking these communications, you have a production monitoring, that which communication has been delivered, right? You can track the response also, that who has read it, how many has been bounced back. There is a comprehensive reporting also on each and every activity that you have been doing, and the audit logs also can be generated on various activities that you have done. Then engaging, if you look at social listening has been there. The AI/ML part will help you to do and understand what the people are saying, and how with the help of social sensing you can respond back. There are conditional routing also, and there can be contextual response on an SMS, on a WhatsApp can be given, right? So the output mechanism can be multiple, as has been showcased: printer, email, web, SMS, FTP, social media sites, and you can archive these communication into the DMS also finally. Next. Now, if you try to understand that what are the different communications in different verticals we normally have, right? So this slides gives you some kind of clarity. So in banking, there can be account statements that have been generated. There are welcome letters, there are deposit notice, there are maturity notice, payment advice, and so on. Similarly, in insurance, there are policy letters, there are policy schedules, certificate of insurance, and so on. Health care, welcome kit, explanation of benefits, summary of benefits, right, and so on. In telecom, there can be prepaid and postpaid bills. There are invoices, there are reminders, there could be duplicate bills. And in government and utility, there can be electricity bills, water bills, gas bills, tax notification, and so on. Right. Now, also, let's try to have a look at the major three kind of communications that normally an organization looks into. First is the you see, high volume kind of communication, which we call it as a batch communication, right? And in this category, you may term it as a policy documents which have been delivered, or a periodic statements. As I said, the account statement could be one of them, or maybe a promotional emails for promoting any particular product could be there, right? So this falls under the high volume or a batch communication, right? So it eliminates the slow processing of the output generation from legacy system, generates the enterprise documents, emails, messages at a large scale using a built-in robust high performance architecture, right? So this is how these high volume communications can be done with. Then the other category is the self-service or instant on-demand communication. Now you can relate it with let's say a group policy documents or invoices, right? Or maybe a policy statements, right? So this fall into this category. It reduces the call center cost, of course, and increase the customer experience by enabling the customer to access the documents from the web portal through self-service itself. And then you can better equip the policy and the claim specialist to instantly serve on demand and ad hoc request from the customers, right? And finally, we have an ad hoc or one-on-one or a front office interactive communications. Typically, these could be a welcome letter or an approval letter that need to be delivered to the customer, right? So it removes the older process that use the MS Word with the custom developed macros and output functions buried in legacy systems. And it increases the sales and improves the customer service by enabling the front office to generate correspondence faster and in a very controlled manner. Right, so now let's move on to have a look at certain use cases. Now, first and the foremost is that, as I said earlier, that you do need not to create these templates of the communication from a scratch. You may be having an existing, let's say, a statement PDF, right? So I can use it, reuse it, and get design a different format of it, right? Maybe another bank or maybe another kind of statement need to be generated, but it is quite similar to the one which you are already having. So I can pull up that PDF, right? And in that way, my characters will be extracted. I mean, if there are certain shapes, that will also be extracted, right? So it makes the designing of easier, right? So not only with PDF, but you can pull out a Word file also and can create a new template or an HTML also, right? So this way, a quick designing of the templates will take place. Second is, you see, the CCM can also, integrate with the IBPS, right? That's a PPM system. And you see, when we are processing any application, maybe an onboarding application, or maybe a loan origination process you are executing on IBPS, or an account opening process has been right now. In this, when we are executing a particular process, there are a lot of communications that need to be done, right? So these communications can be, you see, like SMS need to be delivered at a 1.1 point that can be created in the CCM part, right, and can be delivered wherever required. PDF, maybe a sanction letter need to be delivered to the customer while processing the application, so that can be generated from the CCM part, right? So this way, or if it's a renewal of the policy, right? So that so those communications can be delivered either through SMS, through print, or through WhatsApp, right? So these are different things, different options that you are available with to communicate. Next slide. Now, at the same time, the communications that we are creating, right? Earlier days, there was no mechanism to see the history that what communications we have made, right? You also have to be careful now that at later stage, if I want to track or I want to search the communications that we have made to various customers or to my vendors, right? I should have all those communications stored or archived in my repository also. So now, since you see the CCM part is also been integrated with the DMS, so you can store those communications for later reference, right? So you can search out 1 year later, maybe your insurance policy or other things easily out here. Next slide. Now, finally, the AI/ML part nowadays is picking up huge momentum, right? We cannot ignore that when we are talking about communications, right? So of course, the CCM part, you need to analyze that what the customer is trying to say, and the AI/ML is one of an area which plays a very vital role nowadays, right? The example out here, if you look at, if a customer is looking for a credit card with an unlimited airport lodge access, he's asking to guide me with an available options and the application process, right? So instantly, with the help of AI/ML, you can quickly, you see, respond to that kind of request easily, right? So this all can be done. The system can analyze that what kind of request it is, right? And then categorize those things and can respond it accordingly, right? So this way, a quick communication with the help of AI/ML can be done with. Next slide. Now, this is a quick story about how the policy renewal takes place. Now, here we are talking about a combination of IBPS and CCM. Let's suppose there is a policy renewal of a customer. So using the IBPS part, you see the request can go. So you can see here that within a 30 days, policy need to be renewed, right? So when the IBPS application is been moving on, so you have to send a link within IBPS to the customer that you see this is the payment which is due to you to renew your policy, right? And if the request is been said as yes by the customer, so an OTP can be sent, and instantly in CCM the policy the renewal policy can be created and an acknowledgement can be sent to the customer, right? If he says no, then it goes back again, and after 10 days, again the same email will go to the customer, and if he says yes, again it will follow the same track. Otherwise, it will go to the last date, and the last reminder will be given to the customer that yes, if he is willing to pay. So if he says yes, then the document will be generated. Otherwise, the policy will get expired, and again a message will go to the customer. So this is again another area where communication, the CCM part, can take place. Now, when we are talking about how we are making the life of the customer easier when it comes to communication. So here we have got a fillable PDFs also, right? So if we are looking for certain information from the customer, we can provide the fillable PDFs also, which can be quickly populated and can be accepted by the CCM system, and based on that, quickly see a statement or whatever communications has been required can be delivered quickly. Next slide. Now, I'll give the baton to Jigyasu to take you through some of the success stories that Newgen have regarding the CCM tool. Over to you, Jigyasu. Yes, Jigyasu, you're not audible.
So, am I audible now? Okay, so I believe there was some issue with audio there. So in this success story, I will discuss and I will show you how this client achieved faster and efficient communication goals with their users. So this client is a leading non-life insurance company with presence in more than 40 cities in India and with over 1 million customer base. Now, in their policy issuance and customer communication, they were facing multiple challenges. Like they were using their own in-house applications with multiple bottlenecks, hampered communication process, from designing, generation to distribution of documents. There was also no single unified system to generate and distribute PDF documents via email or SMS. There was no, there were multiple uncoordinated systems with manual and time-consuming process, and there was delay in real-time generation of policy documents from customer or partner portal and internal workflows. So then they used Newgen's platforms to automate their customer communications. Now, since they have realized many benefits, like now they're generating around 21 million communications per year, and they have streamlined communication process from designing, generation to distribution. They are now able to generate real-time documents for policy issuance and servicing from their centralized platform. Along with this, they have created multiple templates for, like, for example, private car package policy, policy documents, policy schedule, proposals, policy receipt, cover note, and others. In our next story, this client is a joint venture general insurance company which has presence in more than 100 cities in India. And this is how they reinvented their customer experience. Their major challenges were mainly related to manual processes for policy communication at different stages and very high turnaround time due to manual customer query handling. They were also facing difficulty in difficulty in connecting with customers through multiple channels, and were not able to track or have intelligence over outbound communications. Now, once they implemented our customer communication management system, they realized benefits such as automatic generation of policy documents, which gave them operational efficiency, and they are now generating over 19 million communications per year. They were now having an efficient customer journey process, policy issuance via portal. There now is a centralized tracking of communications, and multiple templates have been created, like welcome letters, policy schedule, policy renewal reminders, settlement letters, rejection letters for the automated communications. Now let's see another story where a financial services provider from Oman, which provides corporate banking, retail banking, and other services and products to their customers, started generating large revenues while saving much paper. This bank had assets worth over $32 billion in 2018 and has the largest network in Oman, exceeding 150 branches and more than 10,000 POS terminals. So they were heavily dependent on different systems for managing notifications, statements, and tracking communications, and were not able to provide secured communications. They were also facing issues in connecting with customers through multiple channels, and were spending huge sums of money on print and postage of documents due to lack of e-statements. If we see now, they have a centralized system for generating and tracking all secured communications. And to put a number, they are now generating over 12 million CASA documents per year. They are now having much better visibility through customer tracking, which generates revenue opportunities for them. And overall, they have reduced operational costs through digitization. So here, this is how you see these particular, some of our clients have realized such benefits, such huge benefits from using our customer communication management systems. So that is all from our side regarding our customer communication management platform. So now we are open to questions from all the attendees. So please put in your questions in the questions box, and we'll surely attend to them now. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, guys, any questions out there on to what we have seen, what we have discussed? Looking for your questions out here. Wallace is asking for a demo for the CCM to be scheduled. Yes, Wallace, will definitely, we are trying to organize a CCM, a demo also soon. Maybe there'll be a training sessions that soon will be rolled out to our customers and sorry, the partners, so that they may understand and can become implementation ready also. Yes, any other questions, guys? I think we can see some of the prospect customers also been here, right? I love to hear from them that what exactly they've been able to make out from this webinar and how it relates to their current requirement. So guys, we have a lot of videos out here also for CCM. You can visit the partner portal also, where you will find certain videos also for the same, and it will help you to understand and even showcase it to your prospect customers. Another question is from Benjamin, who says that who is going to be the buyer in the given organization setup? Yes, of course, it can be any, you see, organization. You have to just look into that wherever there's a good amount of communications that have been required, primarily, you see, the banks, the insurance organization, the telecom companies, these could be, you see, the big ones to begin with. However, it all depends that what kind of organization it is and how they are keeping their communication intact, right? That's what you have to look into, and based on that, you have to pitch across the product. So yes, of course, it's going to be a huge, I should say, a big customer that you must target upon, right? Maybe the small customers, the medium-sized customer may not be interested, right? In such situation, right? So you should start up with the, the big ones, right? Particularly in Africa region, if we are talking about. So you must target those customer. Banks could be a good idea. The another one could be insurance and telecom, right? These could be a good fit where there's a huge communications that are been people are looking at, and we have to target, and our existing customer base also falls into these three categories majorly, right? And of course, the government also you can consider, right? That's also, can be an area where there are utility bills, of course, which could be taken up, right? There are invoices, that could be there, the proposals, right? You'll find in any organization. So these are the different areas where you should pitch in. But my only, point which you should remember is that we have to go for big partners, big customers to begin with. Yes, I hope, Benjamin, that answers your question. Yes, anybody else has any clarification required? Yes, there's another one. Yes, sir. So the question is, who in Newgen should be contacted for a joint presentation whenever we need, whenever we get a client ready to showcase the solution? Yes, of course, you can connect with us only, right? That means the channels team. We will help you out in providing you a right person who is going to showcase the presentation or demo to the customer. Or maybe your local account manager also can be helpful in these situations. And Benjamin, in your area, it could be Abhishek, who takes care of Africa. Yes, anybody else, guys, has any doubts or clarification on to what we have seen so far in the CCM product suite or the presentation that we have just given? So with that, I conclude this session. I thank all of you. There's a good and a humongous response that we have seen out here today, which indicates that there is a good potential out there in the market for this product suite, right? So for any query, you can reach out to us. We'll help you out with aligning a presentation or demo if required, right? And of course, all the materials are available on the partner portal also. Thank you guys and have a nice day. Bye-bye.